a bunch of these Big Ten SEC Glazers are over here talking state that SMU essentially can't compete, and that Penn State just going to run all over SMU, run all over Boise, and essentially get a free ride to the semifinals is absolutely ridiculous. Pause. Ridiculous. This easy paradox. Please like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed already. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Please enjoy the video. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Just like I promised my pick and prediction video, I'm back. We're going to talk about the 12-team playoff and how effective it is a little bit. More of like a rant video because I kind of want to complain a little bit to you guys about what everyone is saying about the bracket and like how it works and stuff. So we're going to go over just a little bit of how the bracket works and like what the flaws are, because I'm not stupid. I'm not going to rant about the bracket and not understand that there are flaws. I can 100% look at the bracket and say there is flaws, but the intention behind it was definitely, I could see where the intention was, and there's definitely some cracks in the armor. But I definitely want to complain about some of what people are saying about some of these teams and stuff. It's just kind of like ridiculous. All right, so where we're going to start here is how the bracket works. So there's 12 teams that are going to be in this bracket. Originally, there was 6 guaranteed spots. 6 spots. I know some people don't really remember that. 6 spots because there was 5 Power 5 teams. Big 10, Big 12, ACC, SEC, Pac-12. And then there was going to be a 6th spot, which was essentially a group of 5, essentially what people originally were processing in their mind. That was the group of 5 team. Essentially, the top 6 conferences would get there. Only the Power 5 are the highest seeds. So, but then when Pac-12 collapsed, then it became 5 teams, and then essentially the top 4 got the bye, which everyone in their mind, everyone and their mama, even people in my comment section go, oh, that's just guaranteed the Power 4 conferences, right? That's who they get in. No. That's how it works. It's the top 5 conferences. So as you can see, Boise is here in the 3rd seed because they are the 3rd highest ranked conference champion. And there's some merit to this system. I think that the belief was that generally speaking in the Power 4 conferences, there are usually a top team, usually at least one top team. Usually they have 1 loss, 0 losses. Like Oregon, for example, is 1 loss, and there was a couple other teams going in the Big Ten. Penn State had 1 loss, Indiana had 1 loss, and Ohio State, before they lost to Michigan, also had 1 loss, and they're essentially competing for that 1 spot. Georgia, Texas. Georgia had 2 losses, but Texas had 1 loss. The SEC is a little different, but most of the time it's 1 loss or 0, and then generally you're at that highest level. Like the Big 12, they had BYU up to like 9 games or 9-0, and they were in the top 8. So theoretically, hypothetically speaking, I think most people would be perfectly fine with this system if all the college football champions were in the top 5 or top 6, potentially top 7, because then they'll be like, okay, well, they're a highest level. But like as you can see, Clemson is 15th, ASU is 12th, Boise is 9th, and 2 of those 3 teams are getting first round bye. So I understand why people are upset. I understand why people are getting upset, a little upsetty spaghetti. But I do not appreciate or want to hear the complaining about Oregon, Boise, or the path to success, and like how potentially Oregon's getting screwed because they have to go play Ohio State. First off, Oregon already beat Ohio State, so it's not even that big of a deal. And then they play Tennessee versus like Penn State, where they play SMU, Boise. You guys are, I think most people in the college football space are forgetting the fact that college football is college football. These are the top 12 best college programs, and most of these programs have a lot of players on them, and not every single player is an NFL level caliber. And yes, we can sit here and say Penn State is a better team than SMU. But by God, by saying that SMU essentially can't compete, and that Penn State just going to run all over SMU, run all over Boise, and essentially get a free ride to the semifinals is absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous to say. I think it's absolutely dumb. A bunch of these Big Ten SEC Glazers are over here talking like they're the highest level. There's a reason it's called the Power 4, not the Power 2. And yes, SMU is they lost to Clemson. Yeah, you lose games. Clemson's a high-level ranked team. Yes, they're not in the playoff, like the top 12 in the bracket. They didn't play like Alabama or something, but they still playing what there's provided to them, and they're performing at the highest level. Boise, for example, yeah, they're in the Mountain West, but they're still playing against high-level college players. There's a reason a lot of these group of 5 teams, they have a good season and half their roster disappears because they go to the higher level because they want to compete for a championship. So it's not like Boise was playing against a slough teams. Like their 2 best wins are against UNLV right? And UNLV just lost a bunch of people to the portal. They lost their coach to the portal, not to the portal, but they lost their coach to the portal, essentially saying that UNLV was not a bad team. And then they barely lost to Oregon. Ashton Jeanty had 190 plus yards on that Oregon defense, had 3 touchdowns. Like, come on. Saying that, making the claim that Boise and SMU, even ASU, can't compete at the highest level is ridiculous. And I think it's absolutely astounding that these people, these essentially SEC, mostly SEC and Big Ten Glazers, are sitting there saying that these teams can't compete. For example, I'm going off a little tangent. I had a text message with one of my friends, and he was like, how the heck did Boise get over ASU? Boise's in a shitty conference, blah, blah. And I had to step back and be like, first off, the Big 12 right now, this year, is not a good conference. Like, they're not like the best conference, but they're definitely not a good conference. And I would put them about equal playing field with the Mountain West. So, even other conferences are seeing that Boise shouldn't be up there. But I think Boise even earned their spot. They won all their games. They could be at the highest level. Their one loss is to a team that is the number 1 team in the nation. Yeah, quality losses, blah, 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 all that nonsense, right? And you get benefit of the doubt. I'm hoping, I don't really like to hope, and I want Penn State to lose to SMU. I want whoever's the winner of the Texas Clemson game. I'm hoping Texas wins, and then Texas loses to ASU. I'm hoping Indiana beats Notre Dame and Georgia. Because then what's going to happen there? All the haters, they're probably not going to be quiet, but all the haters will essentially be at the shut up. Like, come on, cut it out. All this crap talk about straight schedule, blah, 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 blah. You get what you're dealt, man. You get what you're dealt. And you win some, you lose some. All the Alabama Glazers out there, you just gotta deal with it. Shouldn't have lost to Oklahoma. That's just how it is. Yeah, you beat Georgia. Yeah, you beat all these good power conference teams. Shouldn't have lost to Oklahoma. Shouldn't have done it. I'll give you Vandy. But you shouldn't have lost to both of them. It wasn't even like you lost to Oklahoma by a field goal. You lost 24-3. Come on, cut it out. Even big time talented teams almost lose. Oregon almost lost to Wisconsin a couple weeks ago. Notre Dame, number 5 in the nation, lost to Northern Illinois. Yeah, you can have your down days, and a lot of these teams aren't indestructible. Come on. I'm hoping, like I said earlier, I'm hoping SMU beats Penn State. I'm hoping that Texas loses to Arizona State. I'm hoping that Georgia and Notre Dame lose to Indiana. And I'm hoping that Oregon, when they play ASU, they lose to ASU. I'm hoping that the top championship is 2 teams that were said to suck and shouldn't be there. And you're probably wondering to yourself, how do we fix it? I think in my personal opinion, the first round bye should be given to the highest conference championship first. If you're in the top, I'll say top 7, because I like the top 7 is a good number. If you're in the top 7 and you're a conference champion, you should get one of the 4 byes. If you're a conference champion and you're not in the top 7, you do not get a bye, and you just trickle it in wherever that stands. So, for example, in this scenario, number 1 and number 2 would be Georgia, and Boise wouldn't get a bye, ASU wouldn't get a bye, Clemson wouldn't get a bye, and then it would just trickle in whoever's the next highest. So then it would be Penn State and Texas would be the next teams to get byes. I don't really like it too much because this opens the door for Notre Dame to have a first-round bye, even though they don't play a conference champion. But it definitely helps eliminate some of these other issues with these low-ranked teams getting first-round byes for no reason. But that is to say, depending on how the outcomes of this season go. Because yes, visually right now it looks bad. It does look bad. I was ranting there for a little bit. Penn State, there's a significant path that you could argue that Penn State has an easier path to success. But we don't know that. We don't know how easy this looks like. We just know based on what has happened over the last 12, 13 games of what these teams look like. But we won't know until the actual championship is. And we can make tweaks later once the season's over, and we can see how each team performed and how each conference performed, and then we'll make adjustments as it comes. That's just my rant for the day. Please like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Peace.